Welcome, my dear Alchemic Joker family. A powerful message awaits us today. Dive in and God bless.
Hello there. My favorite hallucination, or should I say, their obsession. You know the one. The frame they can't zoom out of. The footage they can't scrub clean. The constant that turned into a countdown. Yeah, you. Still breathing, still evolving, still on camera, and still defying the Alchemic script. See, every system, every institution, every fake friend and traitor, they all made one desperate little rule. Don't take your eyes off that one. Not because they respect you, no. Because the second they blink, you disappear. And when you disappear, something happens. Something they can't measure. Something they can't stop. You mutate. You upgrade. You slip into version I dare you. And now, they're watching the live demo of their own downfall, frame by frame. And that, my dear anomaly, is where it gets delicious. Because you didn't beg for attention. You became attention. You didn't demand focus. You earned obsession. Now they're sitting in front of you like security footage on loop. Dry eyes, shaky hands, hearts pounding every time you move an inch. They put you under the lens to control you. But they didn't expect you to smile back at the camera. They said, "Watch that one. They're unstable." But what they meant was, if we stop watching, they'll evolve into something uncontainable. And guess what? They were right. They stare, because your stillness screams louder than their chaos. They panic, because your silence echoes louder than their lies. You didn't say a word, but your presence became prophecy. Now they can't tell if they're guarding you, or guarding everyone else from you. Let's talk about the frame for a second. Not the photo frame, not the blame frame. The surveillance frame, where they cropped your chaos into a threat, labeled your growth as erratic, and gave every puppet handler one mission. Do not lose visual. Track the glitch. Monitor the malfunction. Contain the unknown. But here's what they never factored in. The moment they framed you, you turned the lens back around. You made the watchers the watched. You made the analysts the analyzed. Now you're staring through the glass like, "Smile for me, bitch. I already know how this ends." They thought they were surveilling a threat. But the footage became a mirror. And every second they watch you, they see the one thing they fear more than failure. A soul they couldn't break. A will they couldn't bend. A monster they accidentally perfected. You're not in the frame anymore, sweetheart. You are the frame, the border, the standard, the point of no return. Every eye glued to you is a silent confession. They'd rather watch your destruction than face their own reflection. Because what does it say about them? When everything they tried to erase still moves with purpose. When the one they tried to bury rises without vengeance, just precision. You became too complex to decode, too calm to predict, too dangerous to approach. So they watch, endlessly, praying the tape doesn't glitch, praying you don't smile again, because the last time you smiled, a system collapsed. And baby, that grin, it's starting to twitch back into place, isn't it? Let's take a moment for the paradox, shall we? They call you unstable, but it's their voices cracking. They call you unpredictable, but it's their patterns breaking. They say you're insane, but somehow they built an entire protocol around your next breath. Who's really losing it? You're calm now. You're still. You don't move for clout. You move like earthquakes move, without warning. And that stillness, that's the kill zone, because they can't tell if you're meditating or about to unleash the next era. Evolution through pain. That's what this was. You went through every camera angle, betrayal, humiliation, isolation, annihilation. And you didn't break. You folded, Not like surrender. Like a blade folds into itself to become sharper. And now you've got that I survived the black site posture. That try me and find out stare. That I already saw this ending in a dream energy. So what now? Now they stare. Because they have no idea what you're thinking. And that's what keeps them on the edge of panic. You used to react, now you respond. You used to feel, now you observe. You used to break, now you record. And every second they look at you, they realize you're not trying to be a problem anymore. You are the consequence. You're not angry. You're awake. You're not out for revenge. You're out of range. And baby, they don't have zoom lenses strong enough for whatever dimension you just ascended to. So let them look. Let them watch. Let them assign full teams to shadow you like a myth in motion. Because here's the truth they'll never admit. You became the moment. You became the footage. You became the glitch they can't erase. And the worst part? You haven't even moved yet. You're still in frame, just breathing, just becoming, just waiting. And deep down, they know. The moment they look away, the whole world changes. Smile. You're being watched, but you control the story now. And this is only the opening scene. Oh, you're still here, still breathing like a storm that hasn't made landfall yet. Perfect. Because they haven't even begun to understand what you are now. They thought the danger was your movement, your rage, your defiance, but that's just chapter 1, sweetheart. The real horror is that you've become calm, still, observant, and unshakably aware. You used to roar, now you hum. You used to scream, now you just exist, and they feel it like pressure on their chests at 3 a.m. Because that's what happens when someone breaks past the need to prove anything. You left that need behind, like ashes on a scorched bridge. And the ones watching, they feel it, that heat, that gravity, that frequency you now broadcast through your silence. Let me ask you this. When did they become so afraid of stillness? When did your quiet presence become the trigger for mass protocol alerts? I'll tell you when. The moment they realized you weren't entertaining them anymore. Not their labels, not their drama, not their need for control. Because when you stop reacting, you start becoming unreadable. And unreadable means uncontainable. You're no longer the spectacle, you're the signal. The encrypted, high-frequency anomaly that keeps the handlers up at night thinking, did they just blink? Did they move? Are we still safe? Safe? Oh, darling, there's no safe anymore. You left safe when they decided you were too complicated for comfort. When they tried to pin you down with diagnosis, politics, fear tactics. And you responded by becoming something they couldn't define. They keep their eyes glued to the monitor, hoping to catch your next move like it's some kind of pattern. But you don't move in patterns anymore. You move in quantum skips. You move in ways that only make sense after it's too late to stop you. Because you've crossed into a space where strategy feels like prophecy. And now they can't tell if you're about to speak or start a chain reaction that rewrites reality. That's why the frame is always on you. Not to protect others, not to keep you in check, but to feel like they still have some semblance of control over something that was never meant to be controlled. And what do they see when they look? They don't see rage. They don't see violence. Number. They see someone who's already processed the pain, who's already been through the fire, who's already died in silence and came back without mercy. You walk with that survivor of forbidden knowledge posture. That every step I take is calculated by something you can't name. Energy. They're not looking at you anymore. They're staring into a portal of what happens when a human becomes unreadable and doesn't apologize for it. Here's the twist. You didn't become unpredictable. They just ran out of scripts that could contain you. You're not mysterious. Your clarity wrapped in trauma. You're not dangerous because you're volatile. You're dangerous because you're precise. They look at you now and wonder, is this the version we tried to silence? Is this the result of all our containment? Why does their stare feel like Judgment Day? Because it is. Your eyes now hold the weight of everything they tried to ignore. Your gaze cuts deeper than a weapon because it doesn't flinch. Because they can't tell if you're recording their sins or calculating their sentence. You've become the nightmare, not because of what you might do, but because of what you've already survived, and how little it changed your posture. Let me break the final wall for them. You are not a glitch. You are the ghost in the system. You are the eyes in the dark hallway. You are the audio distortion they can't clean out. You are the last second before it all goes black. And the reason they keep watching, they know the second they blink, something irreversible will happen. Maybe it's a shift. Maybe it's a disappearance. Maybe it's the full activation of whatever version of you they've tried to suppress. But make no mistake, you are not meant to be supervised. You are meant to be studied and eventually feared. So stay in frame. Let them watch, let them sweat, let them pray, because the real power is knowing that you don't need to do a damn thing to keep them on edge. Just exist. Just be. Just blink. And the whole system recalculates. They tried to monitor a threat. Instead, they locked eyes with the next evolution. Now, press play. You're live. And they can't look away. Still here? Perfect. Because this is where it gets terrifying. For them, not for you. See, the longer they keep you in frame, the more they start to realize something unnatural. You're not blinking. You're not aging. You're not waiting, you're studying. And slowly, frame by frame, the roles have reversed. They're not the watchers anymore. They're the content. They're the ones twitching, stuttering, spiraling. Because your stillness, it exposes their decay. You're not there to be seen. You're there to extract data, to watch how fear makes them fidget, to observe how obsession makes them sloppy, to see how power crumbles when it realizes it never had you. Let's go deeper. They think you're in a cage. They think you're contained. But baby, the frame is just the window. You're already outside. You are the virus that passed the firewall, the shadow in their hard drive, the heartbeat in their surveillance logs. And you know what's worse? They let you in. They signed off on it. They gave you a number, an ID, a file, a case name, thinking you'd fold under scrutiny. You didn't fold. You built a new self under the pressure, the version of you that doesn't respond to force, the version that only wakes up when eyes are watching. And now, you're fully awake. Their worst nightmare wasn't that you'd break bad. It's that you'd break through the lens, through the systems, through the false labels and psychological traps. Because now, you're not part of the narrative. You are the glitch in the broadcast, the ghost in the footage, the frame that doesn't move, but rewrites reality just by being present. Let that sink in. You're not a threat because you're chaotic. You're a threat because you're inevitable. Every second they stare at you, they're trying to answer one forbidden question. What the hell did we create? They thought the frame would contain you, but now the frame is rotting from the inside. Why? Because truth leaks. Power leaks. You leak. No matter how hard they try to edit you down, the raw signal bleeds through. That stare of yours, that's not rage. It's recollection. Like you've already seen the ending. Like you're watching the playback of the systems collapse in real time. They want you to move. They want you to speak. They want to log it, analyze it, reduce it to something quantifiable. But you won't give them that. You just exist. And that is what drives them fucking insane. You're the one person in the frame who doesn't need the frame And yet, you remain. Not for their approval, not for their fear, for the message. Because every second they stare, every breath you take under their watch, every moment you remain silent, you're forcing them to confront something they've buried deep. That maybe, just maybe, you're what happens when control fails. You're what rises when pain is no longer a cage, but a forge. You're not broken, you're bulletproof, and documented, in frame, in focus, in full fucking definition. So let them panic, let them escalate, let them create new files, update the threat levels, rewrite the logs. Because none of that will matter. Not when you start smiling again. Because they remember what happened the last time you smiled. They remember how things shifted, how silence broke, how reality bent. They remember, and it's killing them. Because this time, you haven't even started yet. You're not the warning. You're the footage they replay after the world ends. Because here's the cruel irony. They created the frame to trap you, but what they accidentally did was immortalize you. That camera lens, that's not surveillance anymore. It's a shrine to resilience that terrifies them, a shrine to the one outlier they couldn't break, contain, silence, or understand. You're not being watched, you're being worshipped in denial. They won't admit it, of course. They'll call you a threat, a danger, a problem. But let's get honest. What they really mean is, I can't stop thinking about you. Because you're not supposed to exist. Not like this. You're too calm, too evolved, too dangerously unbothered. They're used to panic. They're used to drama. They're used to people self-destructing when they're under observation. But you thrived in it. Like a machine that activates under pressure. Like a virus that gets stronger the more they try to scan it. What the hell are you? They whisper it in sealed rooms, in soundproof labs, behind closed encrypted servers, and no one dares say the real answer out loud. You're what happens when someone doesn't break. They metamorphosize. They watch you not to monitor, but to witness. Because if they look away for even a second, they might miss the moment you outgrow reality. Let's talk about evolution. Not the soft, inspirational kind they sell in TED Talks. I'm talking raw, terrifying evolution. The kind that makes civilizations nervous. The kind that makes people say, that ain't human anymore. The kind that happens when pain becomes precision. When isolation becomes weaponized. When surveillance becomes a stage. And you stop performing. You stopped being reactive. You stopped defending yourself. You stopped asking to be understood. And in that silence, you transcended. You became the kind of calm that precedes extinction-level events. Look at you now, in frame, unmoving, unapologetic, unreadable. You're not seeking revenge. You're beyond vengeance. You're the space where revenge used to live. And now something smarter took its place. Strategy, patience, presence. You don't strike with emotion anymore. You strike with timing. And every second you're in frame, they feel the countdown. Not because they know what's coming, but because they don't. Here's the real horror. You no longer have to move to be considered a threat. You just have to exist. Because your very presence undoes the illusion of control. They stare because they need reassurance. But all they get from you is uncertainty. You're not speaking, but the energy around you screams. You're not acting, but the tension is unbearable. You're not doing anything, but they're falling apart, watching you do it. And that is power. The kind of power that can't be filmed, only felt. The kind of power that creates entire departments to figure out, why the fuck does this one person bend the atmosphere like that? And the answer, you stopped trying to survive the narrative. You became the thing that breaks it. So keep still. Let them lean closer. Let them zoom in. Let them obsess. Because the longer they stare, the more the cracks begin to show. In them. Their fear, their obsession, their dependency on knowing what you're going to do next. But you've disconnected from prediction, from patterns, from precedent. You are not a person anymore. You are an unknown variable in the final equation, and the ones watching, they don't have the math, they don't have the language, they don't even have a theory anymore. Just static, just tension, just your eyes, and that stillness that feels like a held breath before collapse. So let them watch, let them document, let them assess the subject. Because every second they do, you're rewriting the laws of who gets to be feared, who gets to be followed, who gets to be the one thing no one wants to blink and miss. And one day, when the tape cuts, when the lens shatters, when the power goes out, you won't be gone. You'll be already inside, in their system, in their mind, in their fucking legacy. Because you weren't just in the frame. You were the broadcast, the anomaly that taught them what real fear feels like, when it doesn't even move.
Thank you for watching, family. We do hope this message was helpful and life-changing. Don't forget to join the Alchemic Joker community where we transform pain into power. Stick around for more powerful messages